Welcome back and happy Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day on this Monday. It's Weather for Weather Geeks time, and we've got a lot to talk about as the week unfolds. We are heading into the longest stretch of really cold weather of the entire winter. We've had really cold weather, of course, at times this winter, but generally it lasts a few days. Temperatures moderate a little bit. We're heading into a stretch here where over the next 8 or 9 days, almost every day will feature high temperatures, no warmer than the teens. Might even be a day or two where we don't even get into the teens, and lots of overnight temperatures in the single digits, perhaps even below zero for a couple of nights. So this is a good 7 to 10 day stretch that really is going to be pretty tough. The coldest temperatures overall may not and probably won't get as cold as they did, remember, a couple weeks ago when we got down to minus 12. The wind chill was minus 35. I don't think we're going to see that kind of cold, but this is just going to last a lot longer. All right, here's what the radar and satellite look like this afternoon, about 2:20 p.m. We've had some, I like to call snizzle at times today, where it's been kind of drizzling and kind of flurrying at times, and everything's just kind of damp and dreary, and it's dark out. Kind of a classic midwinter day today overall. Now, the temperature has been dropping all midday. We started out around freezing or a little above freezing even this morning. Now temperatures are tailing back through the 20s. Most of our sustained snow shower activity is up near the lake right now, and we don't look for a lot of snow here anytime real soon. Zoom out and take a look at the rest of the region. Let me take off the radar and the satellite, so we'll give you a quick impression of where the Arctic front is. It's pushing through as we speak. The Arctic boundary is just about right in here, like this. North of the boundary, teens and 20s. South of it, 30s, 40s, even 50s. So it's a sharp edge. This Arctic air, once it settles in here over the next several hours, it's going to take a long time before it gets uprooted. This coming Saturday might be the only kind of oasis of relatively normal temperatures coming up in the long range, and I'll talk about that more in just a second. Let's put the radar back on, and we got snow showers all along our Arctic boundary. What's actually going to happen, though, as we go through tonight into tomorrow, is a storm is going to form along this boundary on the East Coast and produce a pretty good dumping of snow on the East Coast. Not for us, though. This will be tonight heading into the day tomorrow. In fact, that accumulating snow will actually stretch back pretty close to Pittsburgh, into the Panhandle of West Virginia, down into southern Ohio and West Virginia. And we'll talk about the snow a little more in just a moment. In fact, let me pop on the simulated radar. We're going to go through this fairly quickly because we don't expect much to happen here. This is tonight at 7 o'clock. Maybe there's a flurry around. Notice no organized areas of precipitation on the radar. Middle of the night tonight at about, let's see, this is 3 a.m. Here's the beginnings of our storm trying to form down along the Ohio River, and there'll be a swath of snow that gets going in the middle of the night tonight down towards the Interstate 70 corridor, and maybe as far north as Route 30 as well. I could see we're in southern Columbiana County. We get a coating, maybe even a half an inch out of this tonight, but that's about as far north as it's going to come. This is a much bigger problem tonight for, Athens, Cincinnati, Parkersburg, Marietta, heading over towards Morgantown, West Virginia, places such as that. This is tomorrow morning at, let's see, this is 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and this is when things start to get pretty active along the East Coast, and an area that's been in a snow drought the last few years, Washington, D.C., finally going to get a pretty big snowstorm out of this on the order of 3 to 6, maybe even 4 to 8 inches. So the nation's capital will be getting a pretty good dumping, New York City as well. But for us, snow is not a big deal. All right, let's talk temperatures. And while this period coming up is going to be cold, it's going to last a long time, records probably won't be broken. What I'm showing here is the list of record low temperatures for the upcoming week or so. Starting with today is the 20th, tomorrow is the 21st, so you want to look at this list right here. Here's the list of record low temperatures for the rest of the month. If we're going to break or even get close to a couple of these, it would have to be the morning of the 26th and 27th when the record lows are only -5. Even that, I'm not real confident we get that cold. So I think the records are safe this time around. It's going to be cold, but it's not going to be a record-shattering cold wave. And we're not looking at a ton of wind either. There will be enough wind, yes, that the wind chills are going to be pretty bad at times, particularly Friday morning. I think that's going to be the coldest morning, both in terms of the temperature and the wind chill all week. Wind chills tomorrow morning, kids, of course, had today off as they get up tomorrow morning. Wind chills tomorrow morning could be down to -4, -5, and that's cold, and I guess it depends a little on your school district, but it's borderline, I think, between having a 2-hour delay and not. So you'll definitely want to check in both on the TV side and online tomorrow morning to see what the deal is with your school in terms of potential delays tomorrow morning. All right, as far as the weather tomorrow, aside from being cold, not much is going to happen. Our storm that becomes our East Coast thing pushes away. These are lake-enhanced snow bands, up along the lake shore in northern Ohio. Could be a few inches out of this middle of the week, but for most of us, no big deal. We've been talking about these Alberta Clipper systems a lot lately, and this is the kind of pattern that keeps producing them. And each one of these that comes through can give us nuisance snow amounts, just like we had late last week and over the weekend. We got the occasional inch of snow, inch and a half, 2 inches in some spots. And that's all we expect to have happen over the next several days. Here's the next one. This is late Wednesday into Wednesday night. Got a clipper moving through. Here's the center of the low Wednesday night. And this could, bring us an inch or two. Maybe some issues with slick roads Thursday morning. That one fizzles away and just has leftover flurries around, I suspect, for a lot of the day Thursday. Friday at this point looks uneventful, just cold. And then we head towards the weekend, and this one looks a little stronger, but it's also a little farther to the north. Notice the center of the low this time around on Saturday is up over Quebec and Ontario. And that's going to drag another fresh batch of Arctic air in. So ahead of it, we warm up some Saturday. We probably get into the upper 20s. But then behind it, going to turn really cold again next week. As far as snow goes, maybe we get another couple of inches out of this on Saturday and Saturday evening. And then next week, this is Sunday, maybe there's some flurries. Here's another clipper Sunday night, Monday, scooting across. So what you want to take away from this is no big barn burner storms anytime soon. We've got a few chances to get an inch or two, 3 at the most, out of a few different systems over the next week. The bigger deal is the cold. And I'll just run through the snow accumulations quickly here in case you have relatives or travel plans off to the south and the east. Here's the European model. No, this is the GFS model, I'm sorry. Snow accumulations with our East Coast storm? Making up words here. General, big area of 3 to 6 with some places getting up to 12, according to the GFS. Here's the Canadian. It has a beefier area of 6+ right around New York City, heading up towards Providence. And then the European, which all along has been kind of poo-pooing this a little bit, has a solid 3 to 6 area, but not as many places getting more than 6. So again, if your travels might take you to D.C., Baltimore, Philly, New York City, Boston, tomorrow you're going to run into some trouble. If you have relatives over there, give them a heads up. And I'll finish things up with a quick look at the long range, cold through the end of January. And then as we head into February, the pattern's going to start to shift some. The west finally is going to start to cool down and hopefully turn a little bit wet. And as that happens, the core of the cold will probably recenter across the middle of the country. And while we may be a little below average, it won't be as harsh, it looks like, as we head towards Groundhog Day and into the first week of February. So bottom line, brutal cold at times through the very end of January. And then as we turn the calendar into February, it probably will be quite a bit more tolerable. It's Weather for Weather Geeks on this Monday. Check me out tonight, 21 News at 6 and 11. I'll have another Weather for Weather Geeks Tuesday afternoon.